Hi everyone, my name is Erik Adler and today I'm going to talk about the Chronicles of Narnia and especially about the first volume in the series, The Magician's Nephew. This book was actually published as the sixth in the series of 7 books, but it is a prequel to The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, the very first book in the series. And in most editions, I think nowadays they put this prequel as the first book in the series. So I will talk about this first, and it takes place before The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, as I said, and it tells a story about Diggory as a child, and in The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe he is already an old man. Is the old professor in the house outside of London where the Pevensey children come during World War II to take shelter from the Blitzkrieg. And it was illustrated by Pauline Baynes, like all these volumes. I still have the edition from my childhood here, which I read more than 30 years ago. So it's a strange but also a fascinating thing to go back to these books as an adult so many years later and to read them again and to experience the kind of fascination that I had as a child over again as an adult. Of course, as an adult you read a children's book differently, but still it's very gripping, it's a very exciting and also very funny book. And I now want to discuss a few of the topics which are in there. The main protagonists, Diggory and Polly, that's his neighbor, are introduced very shortly in the first chapter. I guess this doesn't bother child readers, but as an adult you would have liked some more about the children to get a grasp of their characters before the real action starts. As Diggory and his neighbor Polly soon realize, Narnia and our world are just two of many worlds, connected through the wood between the worlds, in which one gets access to the worlds by stepping into pools of water. The book introduces magic rings and the creation of the worlds through song, 2 themes taken from Tolkien, C.S. Lewis's friend in Oxford. The White Witch, Jadis, symbolizes totalitarianism. Uncle Andrew, the uncritical belief in rational science. They both are unable to appreciate Aslan's song and to understand his speech and that of the animals, and thus to revel in the glory of the creation and that of its creator. They both oppose the divine order, and they take on the role of the Christian devil in trying to tempt Diggory. Jadis with the apple from the tree of life, Uncle Andrew with betraying his friends. An interesting fact in the book is the likeness between Jadis and Uncle Andrew. They not just express similar views of superiority, they also have similar facial expressions. It's a look of the wicked magician, Lewis says, which interestingly connects power-hungry totalitarian rulers and scientists who are prepared to sacrifice others for scientific progress. Aslan's breath symbolizes the Holy Spirit in Christianity, and in fact in the Bible spirit is a translation from the word for breath in Hebrew and in Greek. Other Christian themes are those of the forbidden fruit, temptation and sin. Like his friend Tolkien, Lewis expresses his love of nature and his disgust with city life through his characters. Diggory talks of life in the country with a pony and a river at the bottom of the garden. Diggory is not imagining wild nature, but a huge garden with a river. It's ordered nature, under man's control, man as the shepherd of the earth. Throughout the book, Lewis chats with the reader in a wonderfully friendly and light-hearted tone. This is a story about something that happened long ago when your grandfather was a child, is the opening of the book. And in those days Mr. Sherlock Holmes was still living in Baker Street. And it is wonderful how much exploring you can do with a stump of candle in a big house or in a row of houses. And later it says, he wondered about this a good deal as the first slow half hour ticked on. But you need not wonder, for I am going to tell you. Lewis addresses his child reader not as an invisible storyteller, but as a friend. guiding him or her through his world of wonder. It is also a very funny book, and a lot of the comedy is provided by Diggory's uncle. The children are never made ridiculous. There is some info dumping in the book, such as when Uncle Andrew explains how he found the magic box to Diggory, which probably he would not take the time doing in real life. A few times the text is repetitive. The children act more like adults than like children in a number of scenes, such as when Diggory calls his uncle a coward for having sent Polly into the secondary world instead of going himself. In situations of danger, they both act fearlessly and very effectively, which certainly is what a child would like to read, since in that way they can identify with a competent hero. That's probably one of the reasons why adults read thrillers. But as an adult reading this children's book, the lack of realism takes you out of the story in these scenes. The children are also remarkably resistant towards fatigue and hunger. These were a few thoughts about The Magician's Nephew from 1955 by C.S. Lewis. I hope you enjoyed this. Next time I will talk about The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. And please give me your comments below if you like this, or if you didn't like it, what you liked, what you didn't like. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. And you of course feel free to subscribe to this channel, and I talk to you next time.